Raiders of the Lost Ark was released in 1981, directed by Steven Spielberg and written by Lawrence Kasdan, based on a story by George Lucas and Philip L. Kaufman. It features Harrison Ford and Karen Allen in the starring roles. Ford portrays Indiana Jones, a globe-trotting archaeologist vying with Nazi forces in 1936 to recover the long-lost Ark of the Covenant, a relic said to have made an army invincible. Teaming up with his tough former lover Marion Ravenwood, Allen, Jones races to stop rival archaeologist Dr. Rene Belloc from guiding the Nazis to the Ark and its power. Lucas conceived Raiders of the Lost Ark in the early 1970s, seeking to modernize the serial films of the early 20th century. He developed the idea further with Kaufman, who suggested the Ark was the film's goal. Lucas eventually focused on developing his 1977 space opera Star Wars. Development on Raiders of the Lost Ark resumed that year when Lucas shared the idea with Spielberg. He joined the project several months later. While the pair had ideas for significant scenes in the film, they hired Kasdan to fill in the gaps between them. Principal photography began in June 1980 on a $20 million budget. Filming took place at sets on Elstree Studios, England, and on location in La Rochelle, France, Tunisia, Hawaii, and California. Though pre-release polling showed little audience interest in the film, especially compared to the superhero film Superman 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark became the highest-grossing film of 1981, earning approximately $333.5 million worldwide. It played in some theaters for over a year because of its popularity. It was a critical success, receiving praise for its modern take on older serial films and its non-stop action and adventure. The casts were all praised, particularly Ford and Allen. Raiders of the Lost Ark received numerous award nominations and, among others, won 5 Academy Awards, 7 Saturn Awards, and 1 BAFTA Award. In the years since its release, the film has grown in esteem, and many now consider it to be among the greatest films of all time. It had a significant impact on popular culture. The film's success spawned a host of imitators across several media and inspired a variety of filmmakers. It continues to influence modern media. One of the greatest films of the 1980s and one of the greatest action-adventure films ever made. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the first film in what would become the Indiana Jones franchise that includes 3 film sequels: Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. A television series, video games, comic books, novels, theme park attractions, toys, board games, collectibles, and an amateur remake. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom opened in theaters on May 23, 1984, directed by Steven Spielberg. It is the second installment in the Indiana Jones franchise, a prequel to the 1981 film Raiders of the Lost Ark, featuring Harrison Ford reprising his role as the title character in the second film to use the THX technology after Return of the Jedi. 3 plot devices were rejected before Lucas wrote a film treatment that resembled the final storyline. Lawrence Kasdan, Lucas's collaborator on Raiders of the Lost Ark, turned down the offer to write the script, and Willard Buick and Gloria Katz were hired as his replacements, who had previously worked with Lucas on American Graffiti. In response to some of the more violent sequences in the film, and with similar complaints about Gremlins, Spielberg suggested that the Motion Picture Association of America alter its rating system, which it did within 2 months of the film's release, creating a new PG-13 rating. The third Raiders installment, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, was released on May 24, 1989, directed by Steven Spielberg, from a story co-written by executive producer George Lucas. During the 5 years between Temple of Doom and the Last Crusade, He and executive producer Lucas reviewed several scripts before accepting Jeff Roboum's. Filming locations included Spain, Italy, West Germany, Jordan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, directed by Steven Spielberg, was released worldwide on May 22, 2008, and is the fourth installment in the Indiana Jones series. Released 19 years after the previous film, the film is set in 1957, pitting Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, against Soviet agents led by Irina Spalko, Kate Blanchett, searching for a telepathic crystal skull. Jones is aided by his former lover Marion Ravenwood, Karen Allen, and their son, Mutt Williams, Shia LaBeouf. The film's intended to pay tribute to the science fiction B-movies of the 1950s era. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull premiered at the 2008 Cannes Film Festival on May 18, 2008, and was released worldwide on May 22, 2008. A fifth film is scheduled for release on July 29, 2022, with Ford set to reprise his role. If you enjoyed this Movie Vault Classics video, please like, subscribe, and click on the notifications bell to be alerted on our next video.